Hi, it's me, Ingrid P. And I wanted to talk about a dream I had and how it relates to TE and how the TE world is kind of crazy. Um, I work. I've worked since around 1.5 years at a GP clinic, and I still get flashbacks from uh, when I was doing my internship and I was at the hospital um, working at the emergencies, and I keep getting when I am not feeling very good, I go back to those times in my dreams, and I still remember the exact feeling that I had when I was there, and it wasn't a pleasant feeling. Um, and so I had a dream that I was at medicine emergencies at the hospital, but this was a new hospital. I was the hospital that's here. I didn't do my internship here, so I was at another hospital. And I got a telephone, but I did not get like the actual phone that like sends alarms out. It was just like a regular phone. And so I was unsure if I didn't get the memo, like how I was supposed to do, if like was the phone supposed to ring or not. I did not know. um I didn't really know how, like, I didn't get an introduction, so I was just like, they said, well, you've been at the emergencies before, you should know what to do. And then they just popped me there. And that is actually, unfortunately, pretty close to real life. And I was like, okay. So I took some patients and it was fine. I had like 3 patients, and I was like, oh, well, the tempo is pretty slow at the moment, so that's good. Um, and I mean, I started um, in the like mid afternoon, and then I was supposed to work through the evening until like around midnight or something, when another shift was supposed to take over. I don't really know. This is a dream, so I but then I realized like there wasn't any patients coming, and I didn't know where they were, and I didn't know how to look into the computer to see if there were other patients there. So I just kind of assumed that there was no patient. And I told the nurse that was there, I'm going to go take a break. And she was like, okay. But then I left, and I went to the cafeteria to go get something to eat. And then there were these friends there that I hadn't seen in a really long time, and some of them I know have had babies or have gotten married, and so I wanted to stay there and congratulate them and everything. But during all that time, I was inside thinking like, what if this phone rings? What if this phone rings and I have to rush all the way to the emergencies and take care of another patient? And I was like, am I even allowed to take an hour's lunch? You know, uh, maybe there are patients that are dying over there and I don't know. And so I couldn't enjoy the time that I was with my friends. And I mean, these were friends from France, these were friends from all sorts of schools that I've gone to. And I really wanted to talk to them, and I couldn't because I had to rush back to the emergencies in case there was somebody there. And then when I came back, I realized, oh, well, there was one patient that was waiting, but it wasn't like chaotic. And I was like, am I really in the right place? Like, is it really supposed to be this calm? And by calm, I mean like normal paced. Uh, it wasn't like there were 20 patients waiting. I was like, this is just so strange, like, where are all the patients? What's going on? And so then I looked at the sign, and it ends up that I missed a heart attack and it said that the patient was dead. And I was like, telling the nurse, like, wait, so this person had a heart attack and died, and you didn't even like try to call me? And they were like, no, the person was already dead when they came to the hospital, which does happen. But I was like, you didn't think that this was important enough to like call me? And they were like, no, it's fine. And I was like, this is just such a weird place. What is this? Like, I was figuring out that this was a dream and this wasn't reality. But I was stuck there. So then at the end of my shift, we were a group of people, like all of the new doctors taking their shift and the other doctors leaving their shift. And then the nurse said to everyone, oh, well, like, this was great, we don't have any people to send over to you guys. And then she was like, Ingrid, what do you think went well today? And I said, I didn't know what to say, so I was like, well, I think that we were pretty quick and efficient. And she was like, no, it wasn't really quick and efficient. And I was like, okay, and she was like, we need to work on that. And I was like, okay, like, I didn't think that there was any problems with that, but I guess I'm never really quick and efficient, so there's probably something that I can do better. And then she said to me, like, things that didn't even happen during this, like, she was talking about generally to everybody. I mean, this was in public with everybody discussing. And she was like, oh, well, we should, instead of saying the entire name of the antibiotic, we should go by its abbreviation. And not, because it takes too much time to say the whole name of the antibiotic. You have to go to the point. And I was like, yeah, but what if something gets mixed up, there are a lot of abbreviations that can be different, and you need to be clear. And she was like, no, that takes too much time. So there's a kind of antibiotic called piperacillin tazobactam, but nobody says that. People say piptazo, in Swedish at least. And so she wanted us to say piptaz, not even piptazo, because the extra O was too long of a word. And it would be even better to say PT. And I was like, well, there are many things that could be PT, like physical therapist is PT, or personal trainer as PT, or, the potassium is P, there are all sorts of ways that this could go wrong. And she was like, you're overthinking it. And she was like, we've now decided that we're going to call this antibiotic PT in the future. And everybody was like, yay! And that is my view of TE, basically. That is how TE ruins my life, because everybody's like, woohoo! Of course, we should do it this way. And then I'm like, wait, what? This doesn't make any sense. How is this in any way more effective? How is this in any way like going to improve our lives? I understand that we have to go quickly, but like, will it kill us or kill any patients to put that extra O at the end of a piptazo? I don't know. But I thought that this dream was pretty representative of like how TE can be stupid. It's like, oh, well, this is effective and everybody likes it, so we go with this, I think what prompted this dream was there was an intern that's at my work who's really, really nice and really great. But then I think that the more doctors go through the medical system, the more jaded they become, and the more they start blaming other people for their problems. And it's happened to me, it's happened to everybody, pretty much. And you start blaming, like, the nurses for not cooperating or that kind of thing. And to a certain degree, it is kind of a little bit true, because a lot of times there are a lot of problems in the communication, and then teamwork and such. And often the nurses are a bit more okay with taking breaks than doctors, and a lot of older doctors will be like, oh, well, why do we have to do all the work? Like, the nurses are always like gossiping and drinking coffee, that's kind of like the stereotype. And like, why don't people respect us anymore as a doctor, that kind of thing. But it is sad to see it in even our younger colleagues, that when they first come, they're like fresh and new, and then they're like, oh, well, I love talking to the nurses, and I love all this. And then it's like, they start blaming the nurses as well for problems that, like, are just the system's problem. So the intern was saying how, oh, the nurses they just go and leave their spots to take a coffee, and like, I don't even get to take a coffee. And I pointed out, well, the nurses are actually doing other things. They're not just there for us. They have to take care of the digital chat at the same time as we're at the emergency. And also, thing is, like, you could have asked to take a break. It's not against the law to take a break. But it feels that way because it's like the patients are waiting. But if you feel like you need to take a break, you should do so. And kind of F the system, Of course, a lot of patients will get angry and will be like, oh, like, these doctors aren't working. But we are. And we have to be certain in the fact that we're all doing our best. We're all working together. And sometimes we can't be super effective. Sometimes working in an effective, quick way is a stupid way to work. And it doesn't actually make the world better by stupidly just working through, So I think that this is where I also kind of relate to TI users, and that they want to improve systems. For me, it isn't really about improving the systems. For me, it's more like, disregarding the system, or just like doing what feels right as an FI user, rather than what society deems is the most efficient and good way. Because I was like, I'm not going to, like, even in my dream, TE comes to haunt me. my lack of TE, and like the all the TE that's in the world at large. Everybody's like, woohoo, yes, we found a consensus. And then I'm like, wait, no, this just makes no sense. And unfortunately, that dream was too close to reality. It really is like it really is like that this is the way that we do things, especially in healthcare. So, yeah, all that to say that I don't like tea. Okay? Have a great day, everybody. Bye.